Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Kova, and welcome back to another transfer video. We are kicking this off yet again, and we're starting off anyway with Ake. Now, I really rate this guy, and he's another one of them youngsters, a lot like Christiansen, a lot like Bertrand Traore that they've now got rid of, that I think is really good, and he's just not going to get his chance. And I think, we need to look at Chelsea and think, there's a huge amount of really good young players that aren't getting the chance. In fact, Chelsea did recall Ake, so I think there's something that they, seeing in him that, might get into the first team. Bournemouth are set to spend 20 million though. They really want him. Obviously, they did have him on loan for the first half of the season, and he's done excellently for them. And they really want him. And for 20 million, that would be an absolute bargain. I think there's other clubs even higher up than Bournemouth, better, if you will, than Bournemouth. And I think, other clubs should be trying to get in on this action for me, but it would be an absolute steal and a fantastic signing for Bournemouth. Next up, we're going to Callum Chambers, obviously not really getting his chance at Arsenal. He went out on loan to Middlesbrough, did all right. He's been part of that defence. That was really good. And Newcastle and Southampton both want the 22-year-old. I'm not sure whether it's a loan deal or permanent. I can imagine Southampton wouldn't really want him on loan. I can imagine they kind of want him on a permanent deal. Obviously, he did used to play there. Newcastle may go for a loan, so it could be interesting to see whether it's a loan or a permanent deal should he leave Arsenal. But he's certainly not making the grade. I think he is a decent player, but he just doesn't seem to make it for Arsenal. Next up is Alexandro. Juventus defender has apparently agreed to join Chelsea in a £61 million move. That is a huge amount of money for a defender, but in fact, I think it's pretty much going to be a world record for a defender. Alexandro, though, is a beast. I think he's absolutely fantastic, but that does spell an interesting, kind of headache, if you will, for Chelsea. Alonso did really well last season. Now, would Sandro come in and automatically just go, yes, Alonso, you're gone, you're out of the team? Not too sure. I don't know if Sandro will come in as a centre-back. Potentially, he's big, he's strong, he's quick, he's powerful, he's got everything. Not sure whether they'd put him at centre-back and go, Alonso, you've still got your place, you're still playing left-back. Next up is George Friends. A little bit of a lesser rumour, if you will. This is about Watford again. They've refused the Gibbs price. Apparently, the Gibbs price is about £15 million. They've refused to go in for that. They're not ready to pay that much money for a player that does get injured pretty much every season. And they're going to go in for George Friend instead. He's seen as the cheaper option. I think he did all right for Middlesbrough. Again, if you're a defender for Middlesbrough, you've got to hold your head up high because they had a really good season. And Watford are interested in getting him at left-back. Next up is a really big one, probably the story of the day. And Chelsea have agreed the Bakayoko deal. They've apparently agreed a £35.1 million deal, and it will be done within this week. So, it's just a case of whether it'll be announced or not, passing medical, making sure they get an agreed deal with the player, stuff like that. It's all apparently very close. That will be the replacement for Matic, which we will talk about later. But yeah, they've agreed that deal for Bakayoko. Next up is Nainggolan, getting linked to the move away. Mourinho wants Nainggolan to beef up his centre mid position. Now, Nainggolan said he doesn't really want to leave Roma. He said, I'm happy here, and he's a lot, Roma kind of have them certain few players that stay there for a while, and they kind of dedicated to the cause type thing. And Nainggolan seems to be that type of player, but Roma are, if you will, a selling club. If the fee's right, they will sell. And to be honest, if Mourinho gets Nainggolan and Matic at centre mid, the kind of holding role, and Pogba in front of them, that is an insane centre mid. You can't argue with that. That's like a title-winning team, or like core of the team anyway, if you will. Next up is Cedric Soares. Obviously, he's done well for Southampton, but they are braced for a £15 million bid from Juventus. Now, obviously, Dani Alves could potentially be leaving Juventus. I'm pretty sure he will do. He's kind of like negotiating his own exit so he can go to Manchester City, and Juventus will need a replacement, and they're looking at Cedric as their replacement, and 15 million for him would be a good return for Southampton and also a really good signer for Juventus. Next up, another defender, and that is Jordi Alba. Manchester United are interested in the Barcelona left-back. Not really sure why. At the end of the day, I think Luke Shaw's a really good left-back. If he can get himself fit, keep himself fit and get in that team, great. But it looks like Mourinho just doesn't like him, and they are wanting Alba from Barcelona. Now, Barcelona have also got the backup in Digne, so they could potentially let him go, but I don't know why they would let him leave. Gylfi Sigurdsson's next up. Everton have had a £30 million bid rejected for Sigurdsson. Now, obviously, Swansea didn't go down, so they can kind of like hold that and be like, well, we didn't go down. We want Sigurdsson to be our, spearhead in our Premier League campaign next season, if you will. But I think they would sell. It'd just be a higher fee. I think 40 towards 50 million would get Everton Sigurdsson, and he would be a really nice addition to their team, kind of like a Barkley replacement, if you will. Next up, Vincent Janssen. He's looking to end his horrible Premier League stay. That nightmare of the Tottenham striker that can't really do it. That's been the case for like Soldado, now Janssen. It only seems to be Kane that can do it for Tottenham. And Mönchengladbach are still, interested in Janssen. Even with his poor form, they're ready to give him a chance in the Bundesliga. Anthony Martial's next up. This is an interesting one for me. Wenger is considering a Martial bid as an alternative to any Mbappe deal. Now, for me, Mbappe will end up at Real Madrid. I am pretty certain of that. It's just a case of if Real Madrid agree a fee with Monaco, Mbappe would jump at the chance to go and play for them. Obviously, he was a Real Madrid fan as a kid. I can't see him, leaving for anyone else, if you will. And Wenger's obviously noticed that. He wants Martial. I think Martial is a fantastic player. I think he's a bit wasted at Manchester United at the moment. If I was Mourinho, I'd play Martial up front. But that is just me. He seems to play him out wide, where I don't think it's his best position. Martial looks really good whenever he's played as a striker for Manchester United. And, Wenger might get the best out of him if they can get a deal done. Vitolo is next up. Chelsea are interested in Vitolo, but I've been told it will cost 35 million. So they've kind of made an inquiry. Doesn't look like it's going to be much more than that. Louis Muriel is next up, the absolute king on FIFA. West Ham are interested in Muriel as a Giroud alternative. I'd love to see him come to the Prem just so I could build different teams on FIFA with him in terms of the Premier League. And now West Ham, they are pretty desperate for a striker. Giroud, I think, would be a fantastic signing, but the price for a 30-year-old would be quite sketchy. Muriel offers better value for money. Although he doesn't have that Premier League experience, he could come in and be a really surprise package at the Premier League. Adrian Silva is next up. Tottenham have made an inquiry for Andre Silva. Told they it will cost them £26 million. Now, that's a lot for, I think he's 27, 28, and that is a lot of money for him. I don't really know why Tottenham are going for centre mids. I think they're pretty well stacked for centre mid, alternatives and positions that they could potentially play players in there. And I just don't know why they need another one. Maybe they're looking for a bit more creativity, which Adrian Silva would offer. Nemanja Matic, we talked about him a little bit before. He is set to have a medical at Manchester United ahead of a move there. Not sure what fee. It's been pretty hush-hush. Everyone's just saying, yeah, he's going to go there. Yeah, Mourinho wants him, but there's been no fee involved. There's been nothing to say he's agreed, wages. There's nothing even being said, he said he wants to go there, or Chelsea willing to sell. It's just a case of, he's set to have medical. It's going to happen pretty soon, apparently. Goretzka is next up. He's currently playing for Germany on the under-21s, and Arsenal rumoured to make a £22 million bid for him. Now, I think he is holding out for a move to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have registered an interest, but they said they want him next season, not this season. It would be interesting whether he wants to take that step into the Premier League. Next up is Lucas Leiva. Everyone thinks he's going to leave. I think he's a really good servant. I think he deserves to be playing first-team football for me. And Trabzonspor are in talks with Liverpool for the Brazilian. Would be a minimal fee to get him away. I think, he's only got one or, not even that, maybe 1 year on his contract. I think it could be just a case of, giving him a chance to go and have first-team football. But he would go down as a fan favourite still, even if he did leave. And finally, we end on Charlie Taylor. The Leeds left-back even is a favourite for Burnley. They are front runners to sign the Leeds player. I think his contract's going to run out. I think that's the situation, and Burnley are set to sign him from Leeds and sort out their left-back position. But there you go, guys. Lots of big rumours going down. That Bakayoko deal is absolutely massive. Alexandro potentially going to Chelsea is also huge. But guys, if you did enjoy it, make sure you do drop a like, and I shall see you in the next one.